Hey ladies, welcome to the teaching channel right now. I'm really excited to have you, really excited to be doing this class at this time in this group because I don't know about you, but I feel more aligned to my purpose and what I'm doing and putting out into the world now more than ever. So that's a little bit about what I want to talk to you ladies about today is how to stay in the high vibrational state, how to continue to transform and master the fear that we are feeling collectively. I know as entrepreneurs and as a lot of us are empaths and sensitive, we take on a lot of other people's energy. We take on a lot of the collective energy. So what I want to talk about today is how to master fear, how to cultivate gratitude and love, how to support one another through times of crisis or when things are feeling a bit sludgy, for lack of a better word. So, one thing that's really cool that I'm really thankful for and didn't realize until today is that, of course, I booked this live video for the Aries new moon. So happy new moon, everybody. Welcome. I want you to pop down a message below. Let me know how you're feeling on this Aries new moon. What's coming up for you? Aries is the initiator. So we're talking about what's new to initiate. One thing that a lot of people don't talk about on new moons that I think gets left out is that yes, new moons are about like new beginnings, especially with Aries, who is the initiator, like fire, initiating new beginnings, right? But I think what we forget to talk about is that in order to start new things, we get to release and purge things from the past that were no longer serving us. So I don't know about you, but right now I've been feeling, the last few days I've been feeling internal. I've been feeling a little quiet. I've been feeling like I want to sleep a lot. So what I realize is that at this new moon time, as we begin to wane back or wax back on the moon, that everything that we're leaving behind in order to begin this new cycle is starting. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I'm really excited to do this today. I have a lot of content. I'm here to add value to your lives. I'm here to add value to your businesses. So I'm here to be of service to you. I'm here to be of service to the collective. And I'm really excited to do this today and talk about how we can master fear or at least transform it into something else and cultivate gratitude. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Erin Gallagher. My business is Erin Inspirational. So what I do is I support people in stepping into bold and fearless lives and awakening their spirit. So as you know, there are a lot of people navigating a spiritual awakening right now, right? A lot of people are awakening. People are coming to. People are getting smacked over the face or punched in the face, really, by the universe right now. Like, this is what we need to focus on. In times of crisis, the things that come up are things we get to look at, right? So I really support people in kind of awakening that spirit within them, stepping into this kind of bold and fearless new landscape, and how to do that, give them tools to do that. I work with women and men, mostly women, but I'm getting a lot of male clients lately, which has been really exciting. So pop below how you're feeling today, say hi, do some hearts and likes so I know you're here. Also, if you would tell me how you're feeling today on this Aries new moon, how you're feeling with the collective energies that have been going on, how you've been protecting yourself, but also at the same time being responsible with your energy, but at the same time, still continuing to move forward. So I'm gonna get right into the content because I'm here for a half an hour and I'm here to add content and value to your lives. So, and I'm gonna read really quickly what I wrote in the introduction above. I wrote, in this video, I will be giving you tips and tricks for mastering your fear during these uncertain times and how to transmute heavy energy into empowerment in order to support you moving forward in your business and creating abundance in all areas of your life. So as you know, this isn't just about the collective. It isn't just about individuals. It's about our businesses. It's about stepping into what we know we're supposed to step into. It's about opportunity, but not opportunity in a way like we're using this time to make money or anything like that. Of course, we still need to be making money, but it's really about the opportunity, innovation. Innovation comes from times like these, right? How to innovate your business, how to innovate your life, how to really step into what you're about to step into in your life and your business, okay? So when I talk about giving you tips and tricks for mastering your fear, I want to go into that a little bit. So the things I want to talk about is to kind of separate out, hi Demona, welcome, to kind of separate out productive fear from unproductive fear. Okay, so I think a lot of times when we talk about fear, the first thing that we think of is constriction, tightness, scary, hiding, either fight or flight. And I always say fight or flight or freeze because I'm not a fighter or a flighter. I am a freezer. Whatever you do, just do it around me. I'm fine. So for those of us who are fighters or flyers or fleers, I'm going to talk a little bit, or freezers, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use fear productively and what productive fear looks like. Okay, so productive fear. One way fear can be used productively is awareness. I want you to think about a deer in a meadow. Okay, there's a camera. You're looking at this deer in the meadow. Deer's just chilling, right? Doing deer shit, right? So we're looking at this deer. Everything seems fine. All of a sudden, camera widens and you see hunter. Uh-oh, things start to change a little bit. The deer sees the hunter, freezes in fear. This is a frozenness of survival, but at the same time, it's awareness. Okay, there's something here that is threatening my survival. Okay, now I get to run, because in order to like survive or get away from that thing, that's productive fear, right? Seeing something, being aware of it, course correcting in the moment in order to protect yourself. Okay, so tips and tricks. So when a deer sees a hunter, that's kind of like that productive fear. So it's kind of like having awareness of what's going on, but at the same time being responsible for our energy and knowing that it affects the collective. We affect everyone around us, right? So aware of yourself and your surroundings, but still cultivating safety in your body. So as opposed to just, oh my God, I'm scared, and then like hiding in a deep hole. Okay, oh my gosh, I have fear. I am taking a second to acknowledge that. Okay, I'm having fear. Got it. Okay, what am I going to do in this situation to protect myself? Okay, so really taking stock, stepping back, and getting really, your logic and your rationale really kicks in when you're in that state of fear, right? So use that. I had a coach once that would talk about the energy of anxiety. He's like, anxiety, use that shit. Use that shit. Like there's an energy in anxiety that is telling you to like, I need to be utilized. So productive fear, use that shit, right? So that's one way that fear can be productive, awareness, all right? So next thing I wrote down for productive fear is checking in on your well-being like you would a child you want to make sure is okay. So imagine that you're sitting around your home and your child is crying and pulling your pant leg. You wouldn't just kick the kid away. Well, you might, but I would call the CPS on you. But no, I'm just kidding. But so you wouldn't want to just push the child away, right? You would want to say, are you okay? How can I support you? What's going on? I hear you. That's what you want to do with your fear or any heavy energies or anything that's not supporting you, right? Take a second to look at it, to talk to it, to breathe into how you're feeling. Let that emotion, let that feeling move through you. I feel like a lot of times we get into a state of fear and we freeze and we get into unproductive because we don't know what to do with it and we just So check in on your well-being as often as possible during these times, like you would a child that is crying at your pant leg, right? Take a second to breathe, listen and feel to everything that's coming up. In this time, there's a lot of not only our own individual fear and stuff coming up, a lot of it is from the news, a lot of it is from movies we watch, apocalypse movies we watched when we were like growing up, even recently. So we have all these stories in our heads about how people react and what to do. And really what we want to do is go within. So going within, doing daily check-ins, weekly check-ins, hourly check-ins, meditation, grounding oneself, right? Check in on yourself every day as much as possible, right? Asking yourself, am I okay? Have I had any triggers come up today? If so, did I allow them to be felt in my body? Did I allow them to process themselves? Did I ignore it? Did I fight or flight or freeze? Did I sit with those feelings and process them? Am I allowing myself to shift, or am I stuck in a state of suffering? So it's really important when you're kind of in these things that you allow the either trigger or the fear to move through you. Breathe into it, allow it to be there for a second. You take a deep breath, let it be with you. It's there to be heard. It's there to cry on your shoulder. You don't necessarily have to do anything to support it. You just have to be there and say, I see you. It's like if you're having a bad day and you come home and you just do the same things you normally do. You want someone to kind of say, hey, what's going on? Are you all right? And acknowledge where you're coming from. Even if they can't fix it or do anything about it, just to hear you and to feel you. That's what you want to do with any fear or uncomfortable energies that come up. It's especially important if you have a family and you're supporting other people, that you first fill up your cup, separate and support your own journey, so that when you're in the space of being neutral, then you can support other people on their journey. So your spouse or your family or whatever else. But know that you come first. I want to see if anybody's here. I'm not seeing any comments or anything, so just want to make sure everyone's here. Likes, loves, just to make sure I'm like that people are here and that we're all connecting. I think at this time it's really important to collaborate, to talk, to connect with one another, to let each other know that we're here. There's a lot of people working from home, but that also creates isolation a little bit. So I think it's really important to reach out and say, hey, I'm here. And to make sure that we are not only supporting ourselves at this time, but that we have over 300,000 people in this group. Okay, that is a lot of power. That is so much power that we could literally change the entire world if we all came together and just thought one thought at the same time. So it's really important that we continue to show up. As a member of the standout members of this group, I'm able now at this time to go live every week. I'm going to do that. And you know why? Because it's important. It's important to show up. It's important to support one another. It's important to be a giver. It's important to also make sure that you're taken care of. I think a lot of times, I did a video a few days ago on my own group about how being a giver, it's okay to make money being a giver. I think we all sit and go, oh, we need to have compassion for others, but if we make money doing it, it's bad, or we have all these judgments, right? There's a lot of judgment that goes on in certain communities. So it's important that we all stick together and that we're talking. So, hi, Lithuania. She says, hello, this is exactly what I need to hear. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Thanks for the hearts and the likes, everyone. I'm going to continue. So productive fear is like awareness, like a deer about, with a hunter next to them is like, ooh, I got to get out of here, right? Survival, but not, oh my God, everything's happening, right? It's just survival. I look at something, rationale tells me to get out of there, and then later I take stock of what happened, and then I learn from it and move on. It's really important to do those things so that you're not letting fear overtake you, the energy of it, the frantic energy of it, right? Okay? And also what's really important is that we are a light, we are leaders. So as we do this in our own bodies, even if nobody knows we've done it, they are feeling that energy, and they are being led by that energy, and they are being pulled toward us by this energy. I'm getting a lot of bookings and a lot of support in my own business right at this time because of this. Because I am stepping in my energy of neutral, of love, of compassion, and openness, and witnessing everybody for how they're feeling, no matter how it looks, right? So productive fear, awareness, and also checking in on your well-being like you would a child that you want to make sure is okay. Asking yourself, are you okay? Telling yourself, I just want to make sure that you know that you are loved and taken care of. I am here for you. Daily check-ins, self-care. So self-care might look like, what some people think of self-care, like in a bath with candles everywhere and listening to meditations. Sometimes self-care just means crying in your bed. Okay, self-care doesn't have to look like some fancy thing. It can just look like a breakdown in the middle of the living room floor. Everyone's standing around you going, what the hell's going on? Doesn't matter. Self-care is self-preservation. It's feeling all of your feelings, no matter how shitty or ugly or scary they look. Being witnessed in them by people who are strong and can support you and will support you. It's important that you have your needs taken care of and met. And if that looks like a breakdown or a messy, chaotic episode, then so be it. Okay? It's important that we get witnessed in our raw, real goddess selves. Okay? So make sure that you're tapping into that part of yourself as well, and that you're not in survival mode or operation mode, which is like, I just do the same thing. I got to make sure I operate the same way. I talked to a tarot master earlier in the week. I'm a tarot master as well, and we talk a lot about like what's going on in the collective, right? And she was saying, she had pulled the death card, and she said this time in our history is the death of certainty. So anything where we did the same things every day, scratch that. It's time to create a whole new reality, not only for ourselves, but others. It's time to be a light in the darkness. It's time to be maniacs on a mission. It's time to be relentless. It's time to let that light fly. It's time to open up as a goddess and just let it out and be your raw, real self and lead. And this doesn't have to look like speaking in front of millions of people. This can be being a leader in your community. It can be a leader in your own life for you. It can be being a leader for people in your family. So it's really important that we do this work because that's why we're here, right? Like I said, there's over 300,000 of us in this group. So it's really important to know that like when we come together, the power that we have is unbelievable. So I wanted to say that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about unproductive fear. So I've talked about productive fear, which for those of you who just joined is awareness. Like if you were a deer about to get shot and like, ooh, I'm aware, I know my survival, I need to get out of here. Another part of productive fear is checking in on yourself, making sure you're okay, and like you would a child that is crying, right? Really checking in with yourself. Unproductive fear. Two things I wrote down here that I have seen come up in my practice is the first thing is the toxic energy of worry, stress, tension, but worry is the biggest one. So if you're worried about your life, if you hear yourself saying, I'm worried about this person, I'm worried about the state of the country, I'm worried about the state of the world, I'm worried about pollution, I'm worried about this virus, I'm worried about, the more that you express and feel the energy of worry, the more worry that will be created. Okay, so that's why I'm talking about acknowledging fear and worry when you have it, and then allowing yourself to process through it and then release it. It's really important to feel your feelings and know that they're there. And then when you're feeling okay with it passing through your body, and you don't need to understand what it means either. I want to talk a little bit about that. So if you're feeling feelings and everything's coming up and you're like, I don't know, I'm worried, I'm stressed, I'm whatever, take a second to breathe and say, okay, I'm allowing myself to be a channel, a divine channel, to allow this energy of worry and stress and low vibrational energies to move through my body such that I can release it. As opposed to, if you say it out loud, you're basically telling your body and all your guides around you that I am consciously deciding to release this when it's ready to be released. So talk with your pain, talk with your worry. It's really important that you not only first acknowledge it, but that you don't analyze it and try to wonder, why is it here? Don't do that. The second you try to get into your head about it, you're going to get even more worried, and you're going to create more worry in your life and your family and those around you. So pull that energy down into your body, especially as a woman, pull it into your belly, into your gut, like really feel it in your deep wombs, your womb space, as one of my coaches calls it. And just pull the energy into your belly, right? And listen to it, feel it, and then say, I am allowing myself to feel this, acknowledge it, however it looks. Like I said, even if it's messy on the ground, tantruming and crying, let it move through you. Don't question why it's there. Just say, I witness you, I'm here for you, and I'm allowing you to be released whenever you're ready, okay? So that you are acknowledging it and releasing. So the toxic energy of worry, the more that you worry, the more worry is created. And here's another thing about worry. If you're worried about something, you're stressed about something, what you're telling that person or that thing or the situation that's going on, what you're saying unconsciously or subconsciously is, I don't trust that you got this. I don't trust that you can make it out alive. I don't trust that we will survive. I don't trust that you will survive. I don't trust that you have what it takes to take care of your own life. These are all harsh realities that we don't want to be saying to people, but when you say, I'm worried about you, what you're saying is, I don't trust you to take care of yourself. And I know sometimes we feel like we need to take care of the other, whatever that is, whatever anything is outside of us. It's really important that we realize, though, when we take care of our internal first, that is what supports people on the outside. That's what supports the situation, the virus, whatever's going on externally, is we get to do that within first. And then as soon as those blocks are like pulled down and everything's like, okay, then we can take that energy out into the world and imagine how productive we can be in that energy when we're neutral. And when we can just be in a state of everything's okay. Everyone around us is going to be pulled towards us. We're going to be able to lead the people we're there to lead. We're going to be seen as a calm and serene voice in a sea of chaos and panic. We're going to be seen as a leader. Hello, Sonia. Sonia says, love it. Hi, Lulu. Hi, Rajitha. I hope I said your name correctly. Welcome, everybody. So we're talking about productive fear, unproductive fear. And the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is productive ways to deal with this fear. So I know a lot of you are like, okay, you've told us all about fear, but like, what do we do with it? Because like, I don't know what to do with it right now. Got it. Okay. Let's talk about that. So I wanted to talk, like I said, the energy of worry and the energy of trust and how those things are different. So what I do in my practice is I will take a second to say, I am actively releasing worry and I'm replacing that energetic space with trust. I am actively releasing worry and I am replacing that energetic space with trust. So remember that when you release something, your guides and the universe and God and your archangels and everyone around you wants directives from you. They want to know how they can support you. So when you specifically say, hey, God, not only am I releasing worry, but I'd like you to replace that space with trust. Then your guides and whoever else, whatever else your belief is, your higher power, can come in to support you in the exact way you need. So remember, have exact directives for how your spirit guides can support you, and tell them, this is what I need from you right now. Because they're literally waiting with clipboards in their hands going, I need to know what you want me to do. Like, they're there to serve you. So tell them what you need and what you want, and they will do it, okay? So if you're in a state of fear, God, please remove the burdens from my shoulders. Please remove this fear from me and replace it with something productive. Replace it with a productive energy that I can use to be a leader and a light at this time. Okay. Alicia Marie says, all is well. I have been preparing for this moment for my entire life. I am ready to lead. Yes. I want everybody to say out loud, I am ready to lead. I am ready to lead. I love that, Alicia Marie. I love that. And I feel like that too. I've been telling people that I literally feel like my soul was plucked out of the cosmos and dropped at this exact place in time in history to do the work I'm here doing. And that's how it is for all of us. So it's time to really step into the responsibility of that take responsibility for where we are and what we have been chosen to do and what we have chosen to do, and do it. And do it in a space of being energetically clear. So that's why I'm talking about this mastering fear and cultivating gratitude, right? So productive ways to deal with fear. Productive ways to deal with fear. Taking responsibility for how you're showing up, especially as an empath. Your energy affects the collective. I talked about this a second ago. I talked about this a second ago. Take responsibility for how you're showing up. If it's shitty, chaotic, crying, cool. Take responsibility for that. Say, this is how I'm showing up. Be that. When we create like, oh my God, I'm feeling fear and panic. Erin told me that's a bad feeling. No. I want you to express it, to feel it, to allow the ugliness, the growth, the uncertainty, the fear, the not knowing. Feel it fully. Because if you don't feel it fully and you just keep thinking, I need to think positively, that's spiritual bypassing, and that's more deteriorative and detrimental to your health than actually feeling all the gross stuff all the time and not shifting. So it's important that you feel everything, let it pass through you without shame and judgment. Because we're all human. We're all walking this path. We're all trying as best we can, right? Let yourself feel all the human emotions. Just don't get stuck there. Because if you get stuck in those lower vibrational energies for too long, it creates suffering. Suffering begets suffering, begets suffering, begets suffering. It poisons the collective. It poisons the family. It poisons your soul connections. Okay, you don't want to spread that poison anywhere. So allow yourself to feel it. Sometimes you'll have to sit in meditation for 10 hours. Sometimes you'll have a whole weekend where you're in breakdown. Sometimes it'll take you a full month to shift. That's fine. It's just important that you understand the process that you're going through when you're going through it, right? Okay, so I went over productive fear, which is being aware of your surroundings. Productive fear, which is checking on your well-being like you would a child that you want to make sure is okay. Unproductive fear would be the toxic energy of worry. And also fear of also being attached to certainty, how it's always been. It's time to unattach yourself from certainty and how it's always been and attach yourself to chaos and let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Okay? And the next thing we're talking about right now is productive ways to deal with this fear. So again, like I said, taking responsibility for how you're showing up, especially as an empath, because your energy affects the collective, but making sure you're not holding on to shame or judgment. Let yourself feel all the shit you want to feel, the darkness, whatever, and let it go. Okay? Be okay with being where you are, no matter where it is, and then releasing it. Okay? No matter how long it takes. And get support, you guys. Reach out for support. Even if at this time your job isn't secure and you don't know how to pay for it, exchange a session with someone. Even if it's like, oh, I'm going to take 15 minutes to clear the energy from you, and then the other person, I'm going to take 15 minutes to clear the energy from you, or just talking and witnessing one another in your shit. Reach out to one another. It's so important at this time. Okay, that's what we're being asked to do right now. Okay, so productive ways to deal with fear. Taking responsibility for how you're showing up. Also, and I'm going to just read what I wrote. Being an empath equals using your energy and your gifts in a productive way. Energetic boundaries with other people and outside influences. So how are you setting up yourself energetically with boundaries with other people and outside influences? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people that I'm dealing with day to day. Not my clients. My clients are awesome, actually. But the collective, news stories, people on Facebook. Every weekend, I've been going on Facebook. The other day, I went to Fisherman's Bend, which is a beautiful park in Oregon. I allowed myself to just be. I stood on top of a rock and I did meditational poses. We went down by the river. We put our hands in the water. We breathed. I was one with God. I felt everything. On Facebook, literally every post is about coronavirus. And I need a break. So make sure you're taking a break from the collective. You're taking a break. You're communing with nature. It's so important. Like right now I'm looking outside. There's robins everywhere. It just rained in Oregon. There's little birds everywhere. And I'm just taking that in and going, wow. Look at life that's happening. Look, there's life teeming everywhere. So it's really important to take a second to break away and that you're, like I said, being responsible for your empath energy and setting up energetic boundaries thusly. So what I have been doing is I have been using the big five, I call them. God, Jesus, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Metatron. Archangel Metatron is the archangel that protects the Akashic records. And he's like, whenever I see him in my Akashic records and others, he's like this. He's like the bouncer. He's the energetic bouncer. So Metatron is your bouncer. Tell him who you will allow in and who you won't. Tell him the hours that you're open for business and the hours you are not. And set those energetic boundaries. So important. You are so important. You are a powerful leader, but you're also a human being. You get to breathe, you get to drink water, you get to watch Netflix, you get to eat a bunch of shitty foods, you get to just be who you are. Okay, so it's so important that you're also just being human at this time and setting up those energetic boundaries, right? Okay, so also moving toward what feels empowering. So empowerment versus disempowerment, constriction versus openness and expansion. So if you're ever feeling like I'm feeling a million things and I don't know what it is, what's going on, if there's confusion, stop for a second, take one of those feelings out, look at it, and feel in your body, is this constricting me or expanding me? Is this empowering or is this disempowering? When you do that, then you can take the next step. So, okay, it's empowering me. Good. I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, this is disempowering me. Okay, I'm going to take steps and look, rewind this video and take the steps that you can take to being productive with the fear, what to do with it. Okay, so really setting up these energetic boundaries, really checking in on yourself. Self-care, making sure that you've told everyone around you how they can support you. There are people around you and your guides and archangels that are literally, like I said, waiting around with clipboards. What does she want? What does she need? I'm ready to give it to her. So you need to give those people, those spirit guides, whatever, the directives for what you need. It's so important at this time to ask for that, ask for the support. So let's see what else I have on here. I have a few minutes left, and I'm so excited again to be here with you guys, ladies, and to be supporting you at this time. Please let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me, friend me on Facebook. I really want to connect with everyone. Friend me on Facebook, private messages. I don't care if I get 5,000 private messages. I want to connect with other women that are doing this work, that are entrepreneurs at this time. It's so important, you guys. It's so important, okay? So let me see what else is on my list here. Acknowledging the fear and then shifting. We talked about that. Creating gratitude from that space. And not being attached to being positive. I think, like I said, we do a lot of spiritual bypassing with love and light. Everything's okay. Everything's good. It's like, we get to focus on being responsible, look at what's really going on in the world, and be an empath, and be in control, and have neutrality and energetic boundaries, and be just a human, however we're feeling in the moment. Let that happen, and let that be who we be. And then either shifting and then writing down what we're going to create from that space, okay? So one last thing. Another thing I wanted to say. Well, I'm almost at my half an hour. So what I was gonna say is that using this time for innovation, new ways of thinking, new ways of operating, new steps to take in your business. As you all know, it's like it's the universe is kind of forcing us almost to do this work. So I want to talk more on that, but we don't have enough time. So one thing I want to say, the biggest takeaway for this entire session, this entire really journey that we're on, is, I wrote this down, remember that you are source. When you show up safe and clear in your intention, everything else rises up to meet that. Remember that you are source. When you show up safe and clear in your intentions and in your body, everything and everyone else reaches up and rises up to meet you there. So know that you have a responsibility as source, and that people are looking to you as a light in their darkness. And when you show up in your own self as this neutral, beautiful, serene, giving, loving, empowering, compassionate self, other people can't help but follow that and create that in their own lives. It's really important right now at this time. Really important, you guys. Okay, so the last thing I want to say is reach out to me, friend me on Facebook, send me a private message. Let's talk. Let's collaborate. Let's do live videos on each other's pages. I have a Facebook group. I put the link in the description above. It is called Awaken Your Spirit with Erin Gallagher. It's a community where we talk about awakening our spirit. We talk about tips and tricks for mastering our fear, gratitude, cultivating love, cultivating our next steps at this time, what we're going to do in our businesses and our lives in order to awaken our spirit and to step into bold and fearless living. Okay, so if you don't feel like you've stepped into bold and fearless living in your life, in your business, in the world, go head over, check out my group, Awaken Your Spirit with Erin Gallagher. Also, I'm offering an Akashic Records reading for a cheaper price for you guys. So click on the link. I'm not going to talk about, I don't want to go too much into like selling stuff, but if you're interested in doing an Akashic Records session, which consists of opening your records, seeing what your guides want you to know at this time, and clearing anything that's not serving you at this time. So it's kind of like a clearing and also like informational session for you to know what your guides are wanting to tell you. The Akashic Records are in the 5th dimension. So they're in a space, they're your masters, teachers, and loved ones. So they're different than your spirit guides. It's like your highest level guides for your soul. So you can find out in there what your soul purpose is, what the next levels for you to release in your soul in order to move on to the next step. So if you want to set that up with me, let me know. I'm really excited to work with you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for showing up not only on this chat, but just every day in your lives. I love you so much. I support you through it all. Reach out to me, send me a message. Thank you for everything. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I'll be here next week and talk to you later. Bye.